Coming up on CBC Vancouver News. 4 Canadians from the hantavirus-stricken cruise now isolating in BC.
We are in a very critical phase of the incubation period.
What health officials said about how long the passengers will remain in isolation. Plus, 2 teens dead after a shooting in Surrey.
I want to say I'm angry, I'm outraged, I'm saddened.
The city's mayor speaks out about a violent weekend. And the FIFA World Cup is just about here as Vancouver prepares to welcome the world. New bylaws come into effect.
This is CBC Vancouver News.
I'm Michelle Ghoussoub. Thanks for joining us. The last remaining passengers on a cruise struck by the deadly outbreak of hantavirus are off the ship. That includes 4 Canadians who arrived in BC Sunday night. As Leanne Young reports, today public health officials said all 4 are being closely monitored.
Tired and I would say exhausted, but very relieved and grateful to be back here in Canada.
That's how BC's provincial health officer described the final 4 Canadians to touch down weeks after being aboard the MV Hondius, the cruise ship at the center of the deadly hantavirus outbreak. She says the 4 so far are asymptomatic.
A couple in their 70s who live in Yukon Territory. One is a person in their 70s who resides here in the Island Health Region, and one is a person in their 50s from British Columbia who is currently living abroad.
Dr. Henry says they're all here in BC because the Yukon doesn't have the testing capacity or specialized facilities. The one solo BC resident is self-isolating at home. Others are in government-provided housing, all for a minimum of 21 days.
They're allowed to go out for walks nearby with daily checks from medical teams. They'll be reassessed to determine if they need further quarantining, possibly increased to 6 weeks, the full incubation period for the virus. 2 other Canadians were passengers aboard the ship. They're self-isolating in Ontario. A 3rd person from Ontario and 2 others in Alberta are also at home isolating after possible exposure on flights. On Spain's Canary Islands, officials completed evacuating the final remaining passengers. 87 guests repatriated, only crew members now remain on board. And the ship's captain speaking out for the first time, praising the perseverance of his passengers.
I've witnessed your caring, your unity and quiet strength amongst everybody on board.
The World Health Organization says 2 more people linked to the ship have now tested positive, bringing the total to 7. U.S. officials say those cases include 2 Americans, one who is now showing mild symptoms. And in France, authorities say a woman who started to develop symptoms during her flight home to Paris. Her condition has deteriorated, and now she's in hospital. 3 people have died in connection to this latest outbreak. Leanne Young, CBC News, Vancouver.
Many people are wondering about the risk posed by this hantavirus outbreak. It's been just 3 years since the COVID-19 public health emergency was declared over. But a Vancouver infectious disease specialist says the hantavirus is not as highly transmissible.
It was likely acquired during an excursion that the individuals who were about to go on the cruise that they went on, the couple that unfortunately died, shared a cabin for many hours of the day, and that could have easily been human-to-human spread.
Conway also says the outbreak is largely due to control due to coordinated global efforts. Homicide investigators say 2 teens were the victims of a deadly shooting in Surrey on Sunday. It was the 2nd shooting of the day, the first being just before 4 a.m. Sunday left 2 people in critical condition. Our Yasmin Rania is now joining us. Yasmin, what can you tell us about the shootings?
Yeah, so Michelle, that first shooting happened outside of a gas station and 2 men suffered serious injuries and were sent to hospital. Then there was a deadly shooting at an underground parking garage. The victims, 2 male teens, both from Surrey, 16 and 18 years old, and it's being investigated as a double homicide. There was also a burnt-out car found nearby, and police believe that's also connected to the shooting. While the motive is still under investigation, police say they believe that the shooting was targeted and gang-related. Also, that there were multiple suspects believed to be involved.
This shooting does have the hallmarks of a targeted shooting, meaning there's some organization in terms of carrying out the shooting, as well as the burnt vehicle after. So we're definitely looking into 2 or more individuals.
Investigators haven't made any arrests yet, but they do say that the victims were believed to have contacts with organized crime and that they had multiple previous interactions with police.
These incidents have prompted the mayor to speak up about gun violence in the city. What has she suggested to stop this violence?
So Mayor Brenda Locke called the violence, including this deadly shooting, unacceptable and deeply troubling. And she questioned the decision to redeploy members of the Surrey Police gang unit to staff another unit. She called for an immediate review of that decision, and she says that the police chief didn't tell her about it. Here's more from her.
Why he would have done that in the city of Surrey when this issue is not only in Surrey but regionally has been an issue we have dealt with for over 2 decades. 2 decades. So it concerns me deeply that the chief decided to take that action at this time.
So after those comments, the chair of the police board responded saying that members of the gang unit were temporarily relocated to an extortion response unit, but will be moving back to the gang unit. Michelle.
The CBC's Yasmin Hania reporting. In the wake of U.S. lumber tariffs, BC Forests Minister Ravi Parmar said the province is investing $12 million towards exploring new trade opportunities abroad.
$9 million of that funding is for new markets and new opportunities through cutting-edge research, expansion into new sectors, securing approvals, and supporting more BC-specific forestry trade missions.
He says potential new markets could include Japan, China, Korea, and Vietnam. The remaining $3 million will go to the Forestry Innovation Investment, the province's market development agency for forest products. An Amber Alert issued early Monday morning was cancelled shortly after it was issued, after police safely located the missing children. Police in Terrace say 2 children were believed to be in immediate danger. The kids were found in the Burns Lake area inside the suspect vehicle. 2 people were taken into custody. And a Maple Ridge food bank says it ran out of food an hour before closing last week. As Janella Hamilton reports, staff say it couldn't come at a worse time with demand at record highs and donations at record lows.
We've been hoarding our meats for the last week.
Drastic measures to meet record high demand, a move to help mitigate the impact of fewer donations from local grocers.
In the month of April, we collected just over 58,000 kilos of food. Impressive as that number sounds, unfortunately that represents about 18% less than the month previous.
Friends in Need is the primary food bank for thousands of people across Maple Ridge and Pitt Meadows. The executive director says last week they ran out of fresh foods an hour before closing.
Not that this has never happened before, it's just happening more frequently now.
He says their grocery partners are not able to contribute as much as they have in the past.
We try to get what we can out of all this and just take out the good stuff.
A concerning trend for Megan Forrest, who after using food banks most of her life, is now trying to improve food security in the region.
We work so hard to try to get as much as we can to our clients, and so it would be hopeful in a perfect world, like more stores would be donating.
She says lately, donations have been unpredictable.
So most scarce it's been has just been recently, because I think we have a lot more people that are picking up. And we also have more charities.
Charities like the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, which says it's seen a change in who needs help.
We see the homeless and mostly the working poor that just have such a need for just a free meal.
An April report by Food Banks Canada found more and more working people are struggling to put food on the table. They say for every 100 Canadians who visit a food bank, 19 have steady jobs, yet still rely on them. Food Mesh, an organization that helps connect food banks with grocery stores, says some companies are hesitant to donate unsellable food due to fear of liability, but they don't have to be.
Letting them know that it can be done safely, that there's legislation to protect them.
The Friends in Need Food Bank, a microcosm of a widespread struggle right across the country. Janella Hamilton, CBC News, Maple Ridge.
A big policy change means BC liquor manufacturers can now directly deliver some packaged products to customers. As Saurabh Sandhu reports, it's raising concerns about industry job cuts.
BC companies that make packaged beverages like coolers, cocktails, and hard seltzers can now deliver directly to their customers.
This is very progressive for smaller RTD companies.
Under provincial rules, manufacturers could already directly sell beer, wine, cider, and craft spirits to wholesale customers like bars and restaurants, but packaged refreshment beverages were excluded.
There are a number of customers that would not take coolers if they could not be direct delivered.
The changes, which took effect a few days ago, now add some BC-made coolers, hard seltzers, and pre-mixed cocktails to that list. Beneficial, some say, for smaller manufacturers as it cuts red tape.
Like a microbrewery of like an RTD, if you're just dropping off in your neighborhood and you're not expanding throughout the province, Parksville, Tofino, then you know that it helps you.
Refreshment beverages is a really important part of the summer market.
Teresa Townsley, owner of Festina Lente Estate Winery in Langley, says direct delivery will cut extra costs and speed up distribution.
It eliminates the middleman and the expensive overhead as far as shipping and cost, and allows us to adjust to consumer preferences rapidly.
This is seen as a betrayal by our membership.
But the union that represents BC Liquor Distribution Branch workers opposes the new regulations and says the policy shift will put almost 500 LDB and BC Liquor Store jobs at risk.
We have a very simple ask for, the government, and that is to, pause this limited privatization they've introduced.
BC's Liquor Distribution Branch says it does not anticipate any major labor impacts. Saurabh Sandhu, CBC News, Surrey.
Darius Madavi joins us now with a first look at the weather. Darius?
I want to start by looking at the fire danger across Western Canada, which is very much elevated in many areas. We have moderate to extreme fire danger in much of Western Canada, and largely this is due to a severe lack of precipitation over the last 30 days, well below half of the normal amount of rain across much of the region, all shown in brown here. Now, if we zoom in a little bit more, we are going to get a little bit more rain on the way for the first time in quite a while. A proper system is going to roll through, bringing a fair amount of precipitation over the next 7 days or so. Come in waves and get ready for it. Temperatures will also fall.
Thanks, Darius.
Thank you.
Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand has announced new sanctions against Russia, saying its forces have abducted tens of thousands of children since its 2014 invasion of Ukraine.
We have already 2,100 children returned, but at least 20,000 cases remain open.
Anand says funding will also support the reintroduction and rehabilitation of children who were separated from their families. She made the announcement at a meeting of the International Coalition for the Return of Ukrainian Children, which Canada is co-hosting. The man accused of attempting to assassinate Donald Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner pleaded not guilty to all charges in a Washington courthouse. 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen is also charged with assaulting a federal officer with a deadly weapon and 2 additional firearms offenses. Allen's lawyers are asking the court to disqualify top Justice Department officials from the case because they were at the dinner. Allen faces a maximum sentence of life in prison if convicted on the attempted assassination charge alone. His next court date is set for June. It's an issue that's been plaguing BC ferries for years, delays on long weekends, how decisions made decades ago are impacting travelers today. Some bylaw changes are coming to Vancouver this week as the official FIFA World Cup event period begins. On Wednesday, May 13th, new bylaws will take effect. The intention is to help the city and businesses prepare for the tournament. The CBC's Lawrence Watt spoke this morning about what the changes mean and what they might look like for folks in downtown Vancouver.
One of the things you might notice right away is to do with infrastructure. So rules will be relaxed around the structural design standards, and this will essentially allow for the expedited setup of things like fan tents, modular offices for volunteers, archways and signage to help guide people near key sites. So you can imagine, the False Creek seawall, for instance, being decorated with all these new installments. Officials have talked about creating a fun and festive atmosphere, and this is a big part of that. In addition, the city is going to get a lot louder, and one of the most interesting changes in this bylaw is actually the redefinition of daytime. So under normal city rules, daytime usually ends at 10 o'clock, but I actually have the document here for you, Stephen.
Yes, we do, yes.
Starting Wednesday, daytime is legally extended to midnight. This will allow live or recorded music or soccer broadcasts and general entertainment to go on later.
The FIFA World Cup games will begin in June. All this week, we are bringing you stories about BC Ferries as part of a series we're calling Ferry Week. And as the operator gears up for another long weekend, they'll be hoping to avoid the delays and cancellations that plagued them over the Easter weekend. But as Justin McElroy tells the CBC's Jessica Chung, it's a problem that worsened in recent years.
I mean, it's interesting when you look at what has happened over the 66 years that BC Ferries has been in existence. And a big part of it is where we talk about all the delays and cancellations that happened, now doubling over the last decade, is essentially comes down to an old fleet. BC Ferries built 11 boats that could serve more than 1,000 passengers in their first 21 years of operation. Since then, they've only built, in the 45 years since then, 5 that are currently in operation. And so when you have that lack of infrastructure, when you have the four-headed governance structure where you have the commissioner and advisory committee, the board of directors, the BC Ferry CEO, Nicholas Jimenez, says it creates real challenges.
The structural problems inside the ferry system. So I had a sense of it coming in. Early on, it was starting to reveal itself. Sort of 3 years in, it's unambiguous. There are real challenges inside the ferry system, and we need people to understand that and connect to it.
Yeah, well, you know, it's been a headache for commuters for sure, but then is there a solution here?
I mean, in some ways, it's about building these new vessels that can replenish the ship, that ensures that they don't have nearly as many older ships that they're reliant on, that can suffer more mechanical issues. But that costs money. And there's this trade-off that Jimenez says that, look, if people really want a ferry system that runs hourly, runs 365 days a year, that is public, that has no issues, then they need to pay more. And if that's not the desire of either the public or the government, then hard choices need to be made.
That conversation is going to be some very real choices that I think this province has to make in terms of how much service do we want, how much reinvestment do we want, and how much are we willing to pay for that, and then who's going to provide the revenue that's needed to make the system work.
And I mean, Jess, that's ultimately the question with so many things in our government, whether it's the ferries or any of our services, but people feel so connected to the ferry system. And people get so annoyed when it doesn't work the way that they want it to, that Jimenez is saying, look, if these expectations are so high, then we need to do more than we've been doing arguably for the last 45 years in reinvesting in it.
You can watch Justin McElroy's full report on this story on the free CBC News app and at cbc.ca/BC. Our Ferries Week series continues tomorrow with a look at what's being done to protect marine mammals from being hit by ferries. The sun is out in downtown Vancouver. Darius has a look at your full BC-wide forecast right after this.
Hi, I'm Amy Bell, and this is your CBC Inbox.
CBC Music is proud to partner with 5X Fest, held across Vancouver and Surrey from May 15th to the 17th. Experience the creatives shaping the future of Punjabi and South Asian culture. Festival tickets at 5xfest.com. And on May 30th, CBC's Margaret Gallagher hosts the Explore Asian Closing Awards ceremony. Join us to celebrate outstanding Asian community artists. Tickets at exploreasian.ca.
Darius Moravi joins us now for a look at your full provincial forecast. Darius, how is the start of the week looking?
Well, we are going to see a bit of a change as we get into the next couple days, but first, temperatures are going to jump up again. So the fire danger map, especially important today and tomorrow, because the fire danger is moderate or worse across the vast majority of BC. Many regions with high fire danger with little pockets of extreme. That will likely continue to be the case into tomorrow. If anything, fire danger might climb a little bit further. And that's because tomorrow we see a bit of a spike in temperatures. Many of the areas in the southern interior up in the high 20s, maybe even hitting 30 in some places like Kamloops. And for inland sections of Vancouver Island and the lower mainland, up around the 25, 26 degree mark. That includes places like Abbotsford and Port Alberni. But then a big drop in temperatures comes back on Wednesday, dropping as much as 10 to 12 degrees in parts of the southern interior. And we'll likely see some precipitation move through at that point as well, which we'll see in a second. And then Thursday, temperatures slowly start to recover in the interior, but remain suppressed, maybe a degree or two below normal for those coastal areas, including here on the south coast. Here's that precipitation we're going to see coming in. Cloud comes in and out through tomorrow, and then that rain really starts to move through. A bit of a wave of it coming up from the south first Wednesday morning, largely missing Metro Vancouver. We might see a brief shower there, but that's about it. And then it moves through the southern interior as well, spreading some more showers, pretty widespread across the south as well. Also making its way up into some parts of the central interior and maybe even the Peace region. And then another wave of precipitation comes through Thursday night and into Friday, and potentially lasts into the weekend. That part's very much in flux right now, but that is a real possibility. So get ready for falling temperatures and the first real rain in a while. Still not going to be super heavy rain, but it is going to happen. Before we get there, though, lots of sunshine still going to be on the way for tomorrow, as well as very warm temperatures, especially inland, and then a new pattern takes hold.
Thanks, Darius.
Thank you.
And thanks for joining us on CBC Vancouver News. You can watch this newscast on CBC Gem, our free app, as well as on YouTube and our website, cbc.ca/BC. Good night.